When people talk about the gaming industry, I'm very surprised that for the most part, many of them do not mention the data that's out there. Jess Corden said something recently. He said Xbox will no longer have permanent console exclusives in the future. And many news articles and outlets are citing him. Okay, there's reason for them to do so. However, as people were talking about it, one person went ahead and put a Steam chart and said, look at what's going on. Look at this in terms of the number of Steam users. This is a data set that I usually don't cite on this channel. Majority of my audience members, you guys play on console more than anything else. Whenever I talk about PC and how it's better and how it's this, everybody gets mad at me. PlayStation fans get mad at me. Xbox fans get mad at me. But a data-centric approach is the best way to be able to figure out what could be going on and what in the world is happening on the PC platform. So let's do some data analytics. We're going to jump back. We're going to jump a little bit forward, and we're going to basically try our best to see what's going on in the present and potentially what the future could hold based on a trend. Okay? A few years ago, about 6 years ago, I made a video where I recently made a video about the video, actually. I titled it Fine Wine because in this video, I actually predicted and said that Marvel Spider-Man needed to make its way to PC. Why? Around that time, Circana and an organization that was doing data collection with them had put some data out there where 67% of US gamers were surveyed and about 54% of them were PC gamers. This was around 2015, 2016. Now, what's crazy is Circana has now put that data set, or whoever the other corporation is, behind a paywall. So I can't even find the data set. So now what we can do is we can see if there's any correlation to that in terms of other data sets that were being looked at. And thankfully, Steam, being the boss of all pro consumerism, has SteamDB. SteamDB allows for us to be able to look at the trend of gamers moving into the PC ecosystem by just looking at the daily active users and, peak active users and so on and so forth. Right now, there are 24 million people playing on Steam, using Steam, and then they're altogether the all-time peak as of 16 hours ago has reached 319,632. That is a significant jump. It jumped just recently to about 37,000 as was shown in I think a few weeks ago, and now it's at 39,000. So let's stick with this data set because this gives us a concrete view of how the PC platform's been growing. We're also going to take a look at the console launches and see what's been going on since then. So the PlayStation 4 launches in 2013, the Xbox One launches in 2013, and the Steam user peaks are about 6 million, 5 million. At this point, the consoles are selling hundreds of millions of units. They're moving multiple, millions of units. And by 2014, 2016, 2018, consoles have already at this point, especially PlayStation and even the Nintendo Switch, are punching out numbers like crazy. However, look at what's happened with PC. From the 2013 timeframe all the way to about 2017, that number of users had doubled. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. The number of gamers on PC had doubled. By 2016, that's when the peak actually started to kick in. And guess who started launching their games on PC day one in 2016, or more games on PC day one, day and date on PC? That was Xbox. Xbox jumped into this particular paradigm because they were getting smoked in the console ecosystem. PlayStation had no need at the time, so Xbox had to go find a place to be able to sell its games. And so this particular strategy worked out and has kept them afloat for many years. Many people did not necessarily believe, nor did they think that this was going to be a viable strategy for Xbox. But apparently it turned out that this became a viable strategy for them. They launched one of their first games at the time. I said one of their first games, one of their first day and day launches at the time, Quantum Break. And you can also go back and see that they did launch other games, but those games were not day and date. Quantum Break in September 29, 2016 was that game that actually did it for them. So when you look through the data sets, you'll see that a data-centric approach helps you realize what must be going on in the background. A lot of people come out and say some things and they're like, Xbox doesn't care about the console anymore. Keep in mind, Xbox fans, y'all abandoned Xbox. You said the Connect made it too expensive. You said it was more of a media thing. So y'all, got either mad at them. Some of you stuck it out and some of you ran to PlayStation. So don't whine. If you had bought the console, they probably would have continued to serve the console like Nintendo. But when the going got tough, many of you abandoned ship. You can't call yourself a loyalist and then jump ship when it's convenient for you. So you were looking out for yourself. I'm not dogging on you. I'm just saying that this is what's going on. And then, notice that a lot of the rise is going up at this time. So maybe most of those Xbox people, maybe they went to the PC platform. And this is probably why some PlayStation players say, oh, most of the PC gamers are disgruntled Xbox gamers. But here's something really crazy. So the PC platform is growing. I'm on PlayStation around this time. I'm getting myself a gaming PC. I'm seeing this data set and I'm thinking Marvel Spider-Man needs to make its way to PC. At the time, Insomniac put out a tweet when they asked them a question about the game and they said it will never appear on Xbox or PC. It's a permanent PS4 exclusive published by Sony Entertainment. Well, guess who followed and started putting their games on PC just 4 years later in terms of more games? Well, it was PlayStation. Why would they go ahead and do that? A lot of PlayStation fans were wondering what's going on. Are they just doing it just to make is it a side hustle? What's going on here? Not knowing that from the time that the PlayStation 4 console came out, even through 2020, that number of about 6 million had gone up to about close to 20 million. About 17, 18 million or so. And they were looking at the trend and saying, crap, this trend is going even higher. Think about it. When you launch the console, only about 6 million people are playing on Steam. By the time Xbox has joined in the PC, market and starting to drop games there, the number had doubled. Now you're thinking the number is probably going to go, threefold. And yes, it was trending to the, threefold, the 18 million, somewhere around here. And this is just the number of people at the same time using Steam. This is not the number of PC gamers. So there were more PC gamers, and that number might as well have actually gotten to at least 20 plus million people. And there's no way PlayStation would have seen that and said, what? There are 20 million people playing on PC and we can get our games there? And they decided that they were going to launch one of their games. And this is where you see Horizon Zero Dawn as their flagship game that came in 2020. They had already launched another game, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. This was a small game, and then the first Helldivers in 2015, right? But come ahead and take a look and see that this was something they were also taking into account. And not only how you know that they were into this stuff is because once they launched Horizon Zero Dawn, they dumped everything. Look, it was in short succession. This went from 2015 and then 1 year, 2016, and then they had a 4-year gap. And then 2020, 2021, 2022, 2020, 22, 22, 22, 22, 23, 23, 23, 24, 20, and they just went nuts. And look at Xbox too, same thing, 2016, 17, 17, 18, 18, 18, 20, 20, sorry, 18, 18, 18, 18. They went berserk, dropping and dumping their games on PC like crazy, because by 2020, when COVID hit, this is where you see this March 11th, that number had already quadrupled in terms of active daily users. Now, I want to go ahead and make a hypothesis based on the trend of the data, which is I see PlayStation bringing its games to PC day and date, because if you look at from 2020 all through to 2024, that number of about 24 or so million in its peak, let's say, let's just go away from COVID. Let's just say 20 million right after COVID when people were back at work. That number is now going to 40 million. That number is about to double. Where are these players coming from? They're coming from everywhere. They're no longer just Xbox players. You can't just pin that on them. There's some of them are PC players. Many of them actually are, PlayStation players. They're coming from somewhere. And PlayStation and Xbox understands this on a fundamental level. And Xbox has already dialed in, enjoying and making a killing out here. Where their console sales are not able to get them, the PC sales have compensated. And PlayStation is now in the place where its games like Astrobot are doing 1.5 million copies. No one bought, or I would say barely anyone bought Lego Horizon Adventures. Even while it came on PC, they're starting to see a market that is very, very saturated. So everybody is acting accordingly now. A data-driven approach will reduce your anxiety. I'm telling you, people are over here sitting and running all over the place, and bro, a rando on the internet like myself kind of already caught on to what was going on. And I already got myself on PC before I saw this data set. Don't get me wrong, this is not what made me go to PC. In fact, if you look very carefully, look behind me on this particular screen here, you're going to see my gaming PC that I had. And, I was also using it for production as well. I already built, I think this was like maybe my fourth PC iteration at the time after having built one. Was it? No. Oh, no. I think I'd built at least like 12 by this time. I take that back. Right? So again, you have to actually dial into the data because it makes you just basically look smart. You don't have to do anything. You just go look at the data and be like, oh, okay. It's a very simple equation. It's nothing complex, but it will make you actually sit back and laugh at a lot of people. I look at a lot of the PlayStation console fanboys and even the Xbox console fanboys, and I say, you must not know what's going on. You seem to not know how tumultuous this, gaming market is looking, and how PC has basically it overtook last gen. This is when more PlayStation consoles were being sold, and in the face of that high console sales, PC was growing. If you look at 2020 through 2024, I can guarantee you that PlayStation is literally shaking in their boots. This is why I told you that PlayStation needs its own launcher. Do you guys think I'm just saying it just because I want to say it? How are they going to be able to keep this player base and manage them? Xbox already has the formula down. They already have their launcher, and now they're dialing in. Why do you think Xbox is dialing in now? They've made sure that they've secured the console ecosystem. I noticed that Game Pass, there used to be a time Game Pass on console and PC where they were different. They were not equal. They were not on parity. Console Game Pass was better. It had access to games that PC didn't have. In some cases, they have always prioritized consoles. People who say that stuff don't know what they're talking about. They don't prioritize their console. I'm like, I don't understand what you're talking about, guys, because from what I saw that they prioritized the console, and I was a PC player and I didn't own an Xbox. So that's why I was able to even see it much more, because they didn't have a thing like Game Pass Ultimate at first. So when you go ahead and you look at their ecosystem right now, they're starting to bolster their PC store. A place where they can not only just sell you all of their own games or sell you games or get you Game Pass, but now they want to start bringing third-party games. They've now slashed the fee to 12% if you bring your game to the Game Pass PC store, which is very competitive. I think it's it's just as competitive as Epic Games as well. So now as a developer, even though this may not be your focus, you still have it at the back of your mind. If I was a developer, I'll put my game here because it's basically going to be a similar build to everything else that I'm going to put on Steam and everywhere else. I put it on Steam. I know I have access to all these guys, over here, right? I put it on Epic Games. Whoever's there that wants to buy it on Epic Games, they'll buy it. People don't think that people buy games on Epic Games, but that's not what I've noticed. When I play Mortal Kombat, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I see a lot of people that are on the Epic Games store because it puts a logo right by their name when you crossplay. I see the Xbox players, I see the PlayStation players, I see the Steam players, and I also see the Epic Games players. It literally has a tag over them. So a lot of Epic Games players are actually out there and they play a lot of games, which is kind of almost contrary to what you might think, but because Epic has a lot of value proposition too that it tries to put out there with free games and such. You can see how people can also I built a library on Epic Games and I barely spend any money on there. I do spend some time because I have a copy of Gotham Knights there. Let me open it and let me show you guys this stuff so that you guys can see what this data-driven approach looks like, because you got to be able to, run with the numbers. If you run out there and you just start talking random stuff, you're going to look really weird. I mean, look at what, Epic Games is doing every holiday season, giving away free games. This launcher takes a while to load, bro. This is the one thing that gets Epic, bro. They need to work on their launcher. They really need to put some time in here because this launcher is kind of wild. Yeah, they're giving out this Return to Moria game. There's going to be another gifted game, the mystery game this holiday that they're giving. They have access to all these games. And I have a big, massive library. Actually, I have a bigger library here than I do I've shown you guys my Xbox library. It's pathetic, except Game Pass. This is my library. This is what I got here. I finally bought Forza 4 because they were like, oh, it's getting delisted. I'm like, leave me alone. Finally, someone in the comment section recommended it. So shout out to you. I went ahead and bought it. Okay. But if you look at my library here, this library is 13, pages long, with a number of games that are basically being given almost for free, right? So a lot of people look and say, I got a library here. Some people were building their PC libraries before they even got a gaming PC, because you could just get an account and install this stuff on there, and you can just move, you could just move into your PC library that you already built without doing anything. Let's go ahead and keep looking at it, because I've shown this stuff from time to time. And I bought Metro Exodus, I bought Borderlands 3, didn't buy Borderlands pre-sequel or Borderlands 2. Mortal Shell, I think I got that one on sale. GTA 5, I've never played it, never will, but they gave it away one time, so I picked it up. And just a bunch of other games. Some of them, little games, some of them big games, some of them, strategy games, some of them action games, some of them adventure games, and guys, this is the stuff of legend right here. I want to play Alien Isolation, so hopefully I can get some time. Me and the missus would basically sit through it. We became, more recent Alien fans. We watched all the Alien movies in July, and we've been locked in. We literally we watched it with a free Hulu subscription. You know how Hulu will email you on your birthday and say, hey, you got a whatever. And almost every year, I get those emails and such. And so finally I kind of said, I'm gonna go ahead and cash in. So cash in, and we just see the Alien movies. They're all there, and we watch them, and we're like, bro, this is what they've been talking about. Because I never really was. I was like, what's such a big deal about Alien? What a stupid comment. And so, again, ladies and gentlemen, all that to say, this is why I enjoy a data-driven approach to talking about video games, because I can literally sit here and I can laugh and I can say crazy stuff, like, oh, by the way, exclusivity is about to explode. These companies are not going to be doing exclusives as much anymore, except for already, knockdown deals, but some might still do it. And I'll say that in a video and people will be like, you're crazy. And then we'll come out in the news and be like, oh yeah, all these guys don't want to do exclusives anymore. How do I know that stuff? I don't. I just look at the trend and I just follow what the data is telling me. I'm not controlling these 20 million people. They're just doing their thing. Where are they coming from? Where are they coming from? A very interesting set of stats. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace out.